I don't know. I always brought my own towel.
Yeah, I always hate bringing towels. I don't know why. I wish that they just have a towel. Take it, use it, give it back. I don't know.
I don't want to wash that shit.
Anyway.
I don't want to get chlamydia off the towel.
Yeah. Ooh, that's true too.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Great week so far.
Oh shit, were we on camera this whole time?
Yes, you were.
You are indeed.
This should be a good, this is my pick. I think this should be a good way to finish out the week. Craft Beer Buds, where the palate always prevails, because we don't know what we're drinking until we drank it. I'm not really happy with that delivery. It sounded more like I was about ready to barf, which maybe I was. I don't know.
But an H in front of hallways for some reason.
You know what? I've been watching reruns of Scrubs, and
right.
Dr. Cox is
right.
on my brain right now.
Get it? Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a whole nother story. Again, for the millennials, if you don't know, Scrubs, check it out. They're on Netflix. Great show.
It's a fun show.
It is a good show.
Hey, wait, do we get money from Netflix now for propping them too?
Not yet,
what we're working
but I'm
toward.
working on it.
All right. By the way, multimillionaires from this show right now so far.
Oh yeah. You
All
get
the
paychecks.
endorsements we're getting, the
You
checks.
guys get your paychecks every week, right? Okay.
Are you kidding me? I get paid from Ma Bell just for having this
Showing
phone right
off the
here.
old telephone.
I think
I'm still waiting for my phone call.
And you know what I'm saying? Trader Joe's hand sanitizer.
Jesus, you and Trader Joe's. Hey, why don't you show the folks at home what that phone is so they understand?
It's a phone.
Oh, but that's a
Regular
rotary phone.
phone.
For all you millennials, this
Give
was
us
the
a
thing
call.
when we used to spin this around and it would actually get a number.
Okay, can we get to the beer
We
now?
can get
Yes,
to the beer now.
please.
Please
Okay,
do.
so first of all, I can't let anyone see this top. It is branded, so I'm going to pop it right now. We've been mixing it up. Everybody is bringing beers except for down on the end there. Which why
Mike,
I
cameraman
don't know.
Mike.
Juice bag or smart for not bringing beers.
Yeah, I
and
get free
drinking,
beer every
drinking
week.
every
So everybody
night.
else's beer.
Drinking everybody else's beer.
But we've had a good week of beers already. And okay,
It's banned right now.
so we had Mike bring 2 beers. Mike, plug yourself, because since you are a personality of sorts.
Sure. Follow me on Twitter at Mike Schramm. And the first beer I brought was the Dude.
Spell Shram for people.
SCHRAMM, 2 M's, as in money. The first beer I brought was the Oceanside Ale Works Dude, which we all liked a lot.
Yeah, good beer.
Second beer was the Mother Earth Cali Cream and Mother Earth. If you guys are watching,
Big thumbs up.
I come by there all
love
the
that.
time. These guys love it, and I'm a big fan of the Mother Earth Brewery. So
It's a win for marketing for sure.
there you go. It's a great
Babe
beer.
Ruth called his shot and got it.
There you go. Watch that video.
You'll have to watch the last video to understand what we're talking about, but yeah.
And you brought the Red Ale.
So I brought
Eric
the Longship Brewery, Eric the Red.
Yep.
One of my favorite
Which we all
beers.
liked that
Yep.
too.
Yep.
We haven't had a beer this week, which is unusual because every week we've had one
We've
beer
had
that's
one
been
that's
One that fell
kinda-
short.
Pretty gnarly.
So Jay has bought the last
I was
one,
saying, we
so
got
we have a
one
really
more.
good shot at
We
having a
got one
shitty
more.
beer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There was a mixed results on the Goodbye Pluto.
Which one was that one?
The one in the
wasn't
can.
opposed
The
to
juice
that.
bomb. The juice
Wasn't-
bomb.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't
yeah. That was
opposed to
kinda,
that
it wasn't
beer.
horrible. It just
Yeah.
wasn't
that guy
good.
gave it a 0.5.
That's right,
It
now I
wasn't
remember.
horrible, but he
Yeah.
gave
It was.
us
I'm a little buzzed right now. so-
Alcohol's taking
By the way,
its
for you
toll.
at home that don't realize this, we're doing all this week all together. So by the time we get to the last beer, we've already got a nice buzz
Giving
going
away
on.
the secrets.
Yeah, I figured since we're dressed exactly the same for 4 days in a row, they might have figured it
True,
out.
that's true.
Okay, are
We
we
got
ready?
over there. Yeah.
Now, beer sock. Now, if you notice, I actually tied this off with a shoestring because if this comes down, things could be given away. So, actually, go ahead and, now, bear in mind the size of the bottle. Everybody go ahead, pour, and I'll pour last.
All right.
I'll get mine last.
Seismic. Oh my god, look at that.
This is.
Just give me half.
This is
I already know.
royal.
I already have a preconceived
Boy, look at that.
opinion of that.
We haven't had
Awesome.
any good dark beers yet.
No,
this
we
week.
did one last week, and
Yeah.
it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
You're not,
This-
not into the darks? You're not into stouts?
No,
No?
not my thing.
This should be interesting.
This
Oh, wow, I can smell it from
this
here.
is great. I
Jesus.
like this already.
Oh my god.
Super strong stout. This is a real.
Wow, this is like
This
I
smells
get
like-
scotch.
This is going to be an adventure, folks.
This smells like Manischewitz.
This is
Oh
it
my.
smells like scotch.
No, you know what Manischewitz is, don't you? Oh, yeah.
wine. Jewish
Look up
wine.
Manischewitz online. It is exactly right.
Man, oh,
It's-
Manischewitz. We know where Mike's heritage hails from if he's
Absolutely.
making the Manischewitz reference.
This is a strong stout.
Yeah.
It is motor oil type stout. It is thick and.
I like these kinds of beers.
Oh man,
Palate will.
I almost want to call this
prevail.
one because it smells really familiar, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, my.
I'm not willing to call it. Yet.
It tastes like licorice with alcohol in it. Oh my god!
Ooh, my goodness, it's
Oh,
very flavorful.
Wow.
Now, and other than Mike's face, which was priceless, I'm making sure, that camera's still going. I had to make sure the other camera was still rolling because I saw his face. It was hilarious. But this, I'm just going to say, there's an interesting story here, so try and be as descriptive as possible. This is something that I picked this beer. It's something that I've kind of been waiting to roll out. And I'm almost a little sorry I didn't roll it out when Ben was here last week, just because he's a Cicerone. And I would like to see a Cicerone's assessment, but that's all right. The mics got it. We have 6 mics, sorry. 3 mics that are output, 3 mics that are input. If you can discern the difference, then good on you.
This is a very, very, very strong beer.
Wow. Okay, I'll go first on this
Yeah,
one if
go
you guys
ahead.
want, because it'll make it real easy for mine's. I'm giving it a 0.1.
Wow.
What, you're rating it already?
0.1. I can't even drink it. I can't
What are
even
you
drink
doing?
it.
Is that all you've got?
Oh my god! Well, hold on. So it really it smells kind of like Manischewitz, licorice, and alcohol, and something else bad that I don't like. This is
Just dip my nose in it.
Oh god, I'm
this
sorry.
is I've
Beer
had one
sock.
sip of this beer.
That's
I'm
the
going to try
benefit of
another
beer
sip
sock.
after this, but I'm having a hard time making myself drink this. And now these guys may be more into this kind of cool, crafty kind of beer that drips from your teeth and takes a minute to hit the floor. But oh my god, I would never ever drink this voluntarily. This would be a punishment for me.
Well, wait a minute. No one's forcing him to drink it. So now you know what a liar he is. He would never drink it voluntarily, yet the camera says otherwise. So moving on.
There's a little bit of hazelnut. There's a little bit of like bourbon barrel type aging, like barrel aging type stuff. It's very strong. I do taste some licorice, although I think it's a little more nuanced than just licorice. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost too strong for me. Even I like stouts, but this is almost like too.
It's insane.
It's not a thick stout. It's like a thin, like a more like a strong ale or a what do they call it? Doppelbock?
Doppelbock.
The Doppelbock
Well, a
type things?
Doppelbock, the only reference I know there is I had Chuck Alec. Their brew house is in Ramona, but they have a killer beer garden in North Park. They do a Doppelbock, and this is like that times 10.
Yeah,
their
this is a
Doppelbock
much
is much
stronger.
more
Yeah, yeah.
approachable than
Yeah.
what's going on.
No,
here.
this is definitely it's not on that same scale, but it's definitely it's an interesting beer. So some beers are like training wheels on a bicycle. This is like a Harley.
I was just gonna say this is like a Harley with no exhaust on
except
it.
Harley's American, and this is an even scarier beer than
Yeah,
that. Like this is a serious like
This is a Hell's
European-
Angel
Right.
with tattoos on both sides that just killed somebody drinking it.
Right. So like Bud Light is like
That is, you know what? That is the best contribution that he has made to this entire series. He's finally produced something of value for the group to enjoy.
And to be honest, I think you could actually get drunk by just smelling this thing.
it's
It is
very
just
strong.
wow.
Mike, what do you think?
Well,
call on
I
that.
pick up anise in the
Well-crafted.
smell, and
Picked up what? I'm sorry.
anise,
Okay.
which is a lot like licorice.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a
So did I. I'm like, wow, you have a woman that smells like this?
And
Yeah.
it's
One
thick.
of your siblings' daughters smells like this. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're in rapid decay right now.
It's thick and oily. The mouthfeel is very oily. It lingers on your tongue and coats your mouth, and the initial taste was very off-putting. The subsequent sips I've had,
Oh, does that mean I
has
can
brought
try
it in line a little bit. So I think this is a beer that you would have to pair with something. You can't just drink this beer. It's
You
got
have
to
to pair it
something
with
to,
something like a drop cloth.
I mean,
but I don't
like
know
I
what
said,
that would be.
Either like some beers are very friendly and very approachable. Cali Creamin' is a beer that's very approachable to anybody. Even people who don't like beer would probably be into that. This is a high level.
Oh, yeah.
This is a high level beer. Like this is a beer that
You have to
need,
seek this out.
You need to understand what you're about to have.
Yeah.
Because I think I think if you put this in front of someone who doesn't understand beer or isn't interested in beer, they will be super turned off.
They will
by
never
it.
drink
They
beer
will be
again.
appalled and
Yeah.
say, "What poison
What kind
is
of
this?"
yeah? What
Yeah,
kind
now
of,
with all that being said,
and that's exactly
there's-
what I got out of it.
There's something very, I don't know, it's kind of cool about this beer, but it's not one that I would roll up to a bar and say, "Give me that." Each time. There's got to be something else.
Well,
that
just
goes
so
with
you
it.
know, you can't roll up to a bar and say, "Give me that."
But
So
yeah, but
that's
this
not
is
an option.
This is definitely like this is an expert level beer. It is
Expert level.
Yeah, it is
Beer
it is-
level.
I like it in that it definitely took a lot of skill to make these things work together, and I do think that they work together. But it's also, speaking of situations. Earlier in the in one of the other episodes I talked about when I rate stuff. I think about what type of situation would I drink this in. This would be like late on a Friday night. I've been rejected at the bar a few times.
And I've already had 3 or 4
I've
beers.
already had 3 or 4,
Yeah,
and I'm
he
like,
has to
all right,
punish
it's
himself.
time for the strong stuff. Bring that stuff out. That is the stuff that
I need
go
something
after.
to ease my pain.
Yeah. I have some pain, and I want some well-crafted stuff.
And
to make
if
sure
I
it
get
gets
pulled
used.
over, I want CHP to be able to smell me from behind the car before they approach.
I'm
it.
not driving after I drink a pint or two of this beer. I'm not driving home. Like I'm
Oh,
getting
God.
an Uber to go home
Oh,
after
yeah.
this beer for sure. So, yeah. What do you think? So you know what it is, but what do you think of the way it tastes?
Okay.
Notice no one has finished theirs yet.
I'm surprised.
It's a slow drinking beer. It's not. It's not a beer you chug. You do not chug
No.
this stuff.
No.
It's like a scotch, really. I get a lot of that smell. Weird.
Well, I'm very surprised, and when you hear the story behind this beer, I think you'll be equally surprised. I actually expected this to be bad, to be perfectly honest.
Good call.
But I don't think it is. I think it is. It's formidable. It imposes upon your palate.
That's for sure.
But not like in a totally unpleasant way. I mean,
I
I'm
took
not.
advantage of my palate.
I've got rape counseling for my tongue.
Took your palate out back and gave it a good talking to.
It's very boozy. But it's like, to me, it's boozy, but it works for the presentation. It is definitely thick and oily and motor oil, as Italians are probably, which I include myself in there, we're very familiar with the whole oily, greasy thing. It's part of our heritage. I'm sorry if my head is shining right now. Yeah.
When I say motor oil too, it's not bad. It's not like it
No,
tastes
no, it
like
just-
motor oil.
it just
It's
pours
just a very
thick
viscous,
and it's-
it's a very
yeah,
thin, oily
viscous,
sort of-
exactly.
It's
Yep.
it's not necessarily it's not an attack.
Right.
If I said it tastes like motor oil, that would be an attack. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. Really, well, you know what? I'm not even going to go any further. I think we've all kind of covered it from the raped taste buds on down the line.
So your rating was a.
0.1.
Wait, let me get this down.
I'm gonna give it a.
And that's only because it's not a completely skunked, undrinkable beer. That's the only thing it's got going for it.
That's fine. I'm gonna give it a 1.25. Below average, not my style of beer. There definitely is some sort of craft here in terms of creating it, but this is a beer that I would rarely find an occasion to drink. I would rarely be interested in drinking it. What do you think?
I'm intrigued by the taste, the color, the mouthfeel, but it's not something that I'm going to drink. I'm not going to order this every time.
Ever again.
There's something very unique about this beer, and I like it for that fact. But again, I think it needs to be paired with something to really make it stand out. So as a drinking beer, I'm going to give it 1.5.
Wow.
I would eat it
That's
with
pretty
a
strong.
well-made steak and potatoes. This is a steak
Yeah,
kind of beer, I
can kind
think.
of see that, but
Like that bourbon sort of scotchy.
what do you
taste.
got on it, Jay? You know what it is, but what are you giving it? Thinking it was going to be bad from the get-go, which is interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I'm wondering
and
why you bought some beer
there's
that
a
you thought would
story
be
here.
bad.
There's a
Yeah,
story
yeah.
here. And when I unveil it, maybe you'll know the story, maybe you won't. First of all, let me say this is not my go-to style. It's something that I went after because of hype and marketing. But that actually turned out to indirectly sort of kind of bite me in the ass. I think it's drinkable, and I appreciate. Actually, I wish a Cicerone or even Matt was here because I really want to find out what someone with heightened knowledge would say. Because let me just say this. Like I said, it's formidable. It's imposing. But it's not, to me, appalling where I say, oh, there's something wrong with this. I think it is what it sets out to be. So I guess that said, the only thing I can really do is reveal and tell
What's
the story.
your score?
Oh, I have to score it. I'm going to give it 1.75.
Whoa!
Because-
above the fold.
Well, above the fold because I might be biased because I know what it is. And maybe also because I expected it to be bad and it's not in traditional standards. So I'm going to go 1.75.
Interesting.
Wow.
Now I'm really curious. Now we have to reveal it.
Okay, let me untie it and we'll go from there. I think I tied a knot,
By the way.
which I shouldn't have done.
And
There we go.
it's still fun. I'm still going to mention this, by the way. Through any of our previous episodes, I don't think there's been one time where not one of the glasses has been completely emptied. None of these glasses. Yours is close, Mike, but not quite there.
I'm going to finish.
But
Well,
no,
and
but
as
none of
I've
them are
stated
completely empty.
previously, I'll drink most anything. So,
But
mine
we
don't
also
empty.
said this is a slow drink.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a beer that you drink.
Well,
quickly.
mine's going to be a very slow
is
drink
a
because until it
sipping beer.
evaporates, it's not going to empty my glass unless somebody else wants to drink it.
We
All
ready?
right, what do we
We're
got?
ready.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, now, and there's going to be contention here over whether this is actually craft, and there's part of the story. This is Goose Island,
It looks like a
Bourbon County, barrel-aged stout.
There you go.
But here's where the plot thickens, as well as the beer. This is 2015. So this year, and I checked the date code on the bottle, this beer was recalled because it was infected with a...
Sorry, guys!
I guess we
That's why
won't
we
see
made it
you
the
next
last
week.
beer for
and,
the week,
and not
right?
You
infected
just
by...
served us a beer that was infected.
Not infected by Mike's chlamydia, but infected by an unwanted strain of bacteria that in some cases turned the beer. Not like a foreign entity bacteria that will make you sick, but one that
Oh,
was...
here's the joke now, right?
Did you sign
He brought
a
us here
disclaimer
because
before
he's
you
some
walked in?
sadistic butthead that's going to kill us all off.
You
with-
served us beer that you knew very well could be infected
us.
by a bacteria.
But I drank it too.
Oh,
I
okay,
drank
well,
it
makes me feel a
too.
lot better. We'll all die together.
And now,
He's been
and
building
okay,
up
let me bring it.
resistance.
Let me bring it all the way
And
around.
then you rated that beer 1.75.
Well, let me bring it all the way around.
It wasn't as bad as he thought it might be.
Let me bring it all the way around. Before I opened this and decided to bust it out here, which I knew I wanted to do eventually, I read up on other reviews of bottles of this that people did. They refunded this. This is an AB InBev product. Goose Island, owned by AB InBev. They reimbursed anyone who sent in the label. If I would have sent this in, they would have paid me back for it. But what I did was I went online and I found people that reviewed beers that they did not drain pour. I read favorable reviews where people said, you don't want to let it go any further, but there is still value to be had here. So when I read some favorable reviews, I said, I will go ahead and see what everyone says. Now, even though they're appalled now that I use them as a test tube baby, nobody said this has got off flavors or there's something inherently wrong. You don't count because you don't know anything. But, and I will still say, again, formidable, imposing, but I don't get like there's something wrong with it. It's just, it demands attention. It prevails itself upon you, but I don't get like there's something wrong with this beer. So 2015 Goose Island BA Stout.
So first of all,
Be careful. Here we go.
if a beer could be infected, I would prefer that we don't serve it here anymore. Any beer that could significantly...
I'm still drinking it.
Turn us
All right,
into
all right.
zombies. So there's that. Second of all, I don't think this bottle then is affected by that because
Right.
it
No,
does
it didn't
taste.
taste- it didn't taste
tastes
skunk.
like the Bourbon County Stout. Like it doesn't taste like it's.
Yeah, there
broken
were
or
no
anything.
all flavors that, and
Right.
the date code is right on the edge of the quote unquote affected batch versus ones that
Right
weren't.
on the
Still, Jay, uncool to service us. Still not cool no matter what. Like even though it turned out okay.
By the way, we're going to need a new batch of volunteers for next week.
Yeah, these guys, they're probably going to die. Oh, that means I'm going to die too. So somebody's going to have to take over the whole show.
Wow.
Hey guys,
Because I drank it too. And you know what? I might even have a little more.
Oh my God!
Watch
here's,
this.
Here's an arsenic ale. Let's try this out. Like I don't.
Arsenic ale. I'm going to brew that.
No, that's not cool. That's poisonous.
That's a great name.
But on that said, I think we were pretty solid on it, and I think as a beer, not super impressed by it. I mean, you guys were above average, so maybe you could justify that a
Which
little bit. But
shocks me.
yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
You know, of all of us, I think you were the most dead on because you
Right.
should not be drinking this beer. It got me recalled. It got recalled.
This is going to be a pivoting point episode.
Wow. Yeah.
Because everyone knows if you want to get ratings on YouTube, you have to endanger people's lives.
Where's Johnny Knoxville when we need him?
You definitely endanger our lives now. But
Wow.
but that said, like I said, I don't think. I mean, you guys can jump in if you want, but it seems like it's exactly. It tastes like a Goose Island bourbon barrel aged stout.
And an interesting note, now after this whole debacle, now they pasteurize these beers, and the whole cellaring of this series is now done. Because once they do them, starting in 2016, once they're done, they're done. So you might as well buy it and drink it, and they don't age anymore.
I'm going
because
to
of
give you a
pasteurized.
different recommendation. I would say just let it go bad on the shelves and get something else.
In that case, YOLO.
Hey, I'll go YOLO. No, I'm not it.
Wow. Okay.
If I'm dead in 3 days, you'll know why.
This actually may.
If Mike Schramm stops posting on Facebook, in 72 hours, you'll know what happened.
This is almost on par with the one that we said might be skunked last week as far as how much in fact, I dislike this more. I'd rather have the skunked beer than this one.
Well, you know
But
what? This beer doesn't speak very highly of you as well.
Well,
so
I-
it's
yeah, but I
We
haven't
heard
been
it.
recalled
We
yet.
heard it say.
But I will say this does not taste bad or skunked. It doesn't seem
No,
like
it's
this.
just-
It doesn't seem like this specific bottle was messed up.
Right.
But that said, that's like loading a gun with one bullet.
Well, okay. So wait.
Spinning the chamber around.
So the question is, would you rather have gone this route or had one of the Modelo's that's been in the kitchen
we're still
for
waiting on
that route right there.
we do still have more dangerous beers to try, apparently.
If you haven't seen before, I have 3 Modelo's that got lost in a cooler, which is off camera. They sat in that cooler for 6 months because I didn't use it. Then when I busted them out, I couldn't bring myself to throw them out, so I put them in the sink. And so basically, they have been aging in a clear bottle.
Now they're on the
In a
windowsill.
clear bottle for like almost a year now, and at some point we're gonna drink them, right?
And you said on the windowsill, so they're in the sun.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Typically, they're sitting in the sink under
In the
hot
sink,
and cold
it's
water.
clogged, it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. By the way, we
I'm
won't
not looking
sterilize
forward
the
to that at
outside
all.
of bottles
Yeah.
on that one.
I'm not looking forward to that at all. But yeah, I guess if you're going to serve us recalled beer,
Dangerous beer, infected beer.
Pretty good ratings for recalled beer.
Hey, you know what? I have a toilet upstairs that the tank is leaking. Look for that in future episodes.
By the way, we really could use some sponsorship here so we can get the toilet and the sink fixed. So just let us know.
That would be awesome.
So if you have any recalled beer sitting around, send it on over.
So are we done?
We're done.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. This has been a great week.
Not a fan, and do not drink that. If you have a bottle, just pour it out.
Turpentine was actually the smell I got. And I'm not kidding you. When you first opened it, I actually was going to say it, and I decided not to. That was the first smell that hit my nose was turpentine.
Jeez.
Well, that's fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's more fascinating when you have to say.
All right. Well, listen, I think this was a great week. I want to thank the panel of mics for their contribution. Craft Beer Buds, if you're going to punish your liver, make it count wherever possible. Drink it where they brewed it. Thanks for checking us out, tainted, infected beer and all. Cheers, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Salute.
We'll see you next time.
Peace. Oh my God, dude, that is so horrible. Horrible.
That is quite a story behind that.
Wow. This is going to be a great
That's a solid episode right there. Is it bourbon?